So in last class, like we are discussing about some transformations like merge join in the copy column and some other transformations. Today we will look into some more transformations. So let me open the package. So like in earlier what we did is we split the data from source. Okay, split the data from source into different destinations. Okay, so there is no condition. Like whatever data in the source, the same data, let's say 100 records in the source. So those 100 records we have populated into two destinations. Destination A will have 100 and destination B will have 100. So without any condition we have populated. But if you have a condition, okay, so let us say in an employee table, like we are having many employees, and in that I mean like for each and every employee will have salary constraint, right? So salary mark. So we thought of split the data, like whoever is earning less than 1 lakh, I'll split into one destination, and whoever is earning more than 1 lakh, I'll split into another destination. Okay, so that likewise I want to split the data from the source to destination. I want to split the data into two different destinations. So let us see how to split the data with the condition. So let me take one package. So let me remove all these things. Connect to the database and I'll check for the proper table. So which table that we are having a proper data. Sales order detail. We'll see how this will work. Okay, so in this sales table, like we have some order quantity. So we will split the data so based on the order quantity. So let us see. For that, I will take one data flow task. Open this. Already we source. Already we destination. Sales order detail. Go to columns. Here are the columns that we have. Okay. So in between we have one transformation called conditional split. Okay, take that conditional split, give the leg to conditional split, open that. There you can edit that. I mean, you can give whatever the condition you want. Okay, so I will check what are the different order quantities. Like we have many, and uh, so we have nearly 244 order quantities. So let's split the data into different things. So on which column I want to split the data, that column we have to select from the columns list. One second. Hello. Yeah, sorry. So hi. I think he got disconnected. So once we take that conditional split transformation, like it will show all the columns, all the available columns, and all the different functions that we can avail in this particular SSIS. Okay, so what my thought is like split the data based on order quantity. Let us say we have a uh, maximum order quantity is around 44, right? So I'll split the data into groups. Okay, first group I will take till order quantity having 10. Okay, and the second group I will take order quantity around 25, and the rest all go to the third group. Okay, so based on that I will take order quantity, I will take that order quantity, select the order quantity column and drag to the this column name. Okay, order, output name and condition. Okay, so output name what I will give is, by default it will give as a case one, like this is the first case that we are taking up, right? So by default it will give as case one. So I will rename this output as order quantity LT10 less than 10. Okay, so I have taken the column name. You need to give the condition, right? So go to the operators, or else straight away you can give the condition like this, less than 10. Okay, so the what is the second condition? Again I will take order quantity and the condition is order quantity less than 20. Okay, so what is the condition over here? Less than 20 or else 25. Okay, so that means our in total entire data I have splitted the condition like till 10 I am taking as one group. Okay, this is all one group, and I thought of taken from here to here, this is second group. Okay, so what about the rest all data? So it will go as a default group. Okay, so let us see. Just click on OK. So conditional split, from conditional split give the condition to OLEDP destination. Here it is asking to select the output, which output you want to select. Here how many outputs we are getting? 3 outputs. One is group 1, one is group 2 and another one is default one. Default one in the sense like whatever the records left over here, right? So those and all will goes to default. Okay, so I will take output LT10, click on OK. Go to the destination, populate the data into a target table. Sales order detail. I'll rename this as LT10. Click on OK and go for the mappings. And we'll take one more destination. I'll take whatever the remaining outputs that we have. So only those two it will show. Okay, so one we have already configured. So I will take less than 20 and then configure this. Click on OK. So I can take one more destination. See, order quantity LT20, this is what our second group and this is what the default one. Okay, so if you want, like, you can rename the default output name. what it is giving, conditional split default output. Okay, so I will give as rest of data, something like this. Okay, give the map, just save it. Like if you want to go for a fine way of look and feel, just you can go to select all the components. Why? Because while developing, like components will be like they are not in proper diagrammatical format, right? So if it is like that, so it's not like good look and feel, right? So for that purpose, just go to the format and click on auto layout and then go to the diagram. So it will properly arrange the components. Save that, execute it. Here the data is populated. Okay, so stop this. Here we have done one mistake, that is, see, in the first thing, order quantity less than 10. So that means order quantity less than 10. Whatever the records that are having a less than 10, okay, that will come. Let us check in the destination training database, right? Control A, select from sales order less than 10. Testing order quantity. Okay, so these are all less than 10. Okay, coming to the second thing, second table, what are the things that we got? Less than 20. So we got all the quantities less than 20. Delete all. See, whatever the quantity that are left, they are came into the rest of the table. Okay, if you observe one thing here, in the condition what we have specified, the first group we have specified order quantity less than 10. Okay, so in that case it's returning whatever the quantity having less than 10, it's returning all the thing. In the second condition, what is the thing that we have defined? Order quantity less than 25. Less than 25. If you observe here, whenever we specify less than 20 or else 25, okay, like this, order quantity less than 25. Normally in SQL query, what it will return, less than 20 means from 1 to less than 20 it will display. Okay, it will result. But here what is the result it is giving? Less than 20 means from 10 to, from 10 to 24. Okay, so that means the system is automatically taking care of the quantity that it should display. Okay, so that it should load. So in the first group it is taking less than 10. So whatever the remaining records that it is having in the source, only from that particular bunch of records it is picking in the records based on this condition. Okay, so that's why it is giving from 10 to 24. And whatever the rest of the records going to the third output. Third output you need not to specify. Okay, simply by default it is giving the default output name. Okay, so whatever the rest of the records that we are having, so these are all the rest of the records. Okay, from 25 to till 44. Okay, so those records will move to the default output. So conditional split, using conditional split, like you can split the data, like you can split based on based on any column into number of groups, any number of groups. Okay, here we have divided into two groups, and the third one is the default group. Likewise, you can create any number of groups. So, and you can populate the data into any number of destinations. Similarly, it is just like a, what we call a multicast transformation. Okay, so in multicast, what we are doing, multicast, if you observe the symbol for multicast and conditional split, okay, both the symbols are almost same. Okay, for multicast, we don't have any condition, that's why there is no dot. But if you look at the conditional split, there you can see some dot over there. So it's nothing but the somewhat specifies like condition. Okay, so that's about a conditional split. That means dividing the data based on the condition. Okay, so in multicast, what we are doing, without any condition, we are just populating the data into the same data into multiple tables. But in the conditional split, we are populating different groups of data into different destinations. Okay, so end of the day we are populating data into different destinations using both conditional split and a multicast. So here you have three differences. One is union versus match. Okay, second one is match join. The third one is conditional split versus multicast. Okay, so looks like same. Okay, but there are some limitations for each and every transformation. So earlier we saw like how to load the data from a flat file to a destination table. Okay, a single flat file to destination table. Assume like I have multiple branches. Okay, from each and every branch I am having multiple files. Let us say, let me create one more package. Okay, so loading multiple flat files. So, like we are having a multiple branches. So from each and every branch, we are getting data from flat file. Assume like that. Okay. So we have some product information. So the product information we are getting from a flat files. So like if I have 20 branches, then what I have to do? Let us say, let me build the package. Data flow task. Open this. So what's my source? I will check the flat file source connection. I will take the flat file, sorry, already by destination. Configure the flat file. So let me take this flat file, go to the columns. You can see I have 4 records. Click on OK. Go to the columns that I am going to pick. All the columns I am going to pick. So from this product table to I thought of loading the data into the destination. Since I have only one branch, I have taken only one flat file. Click on OK. Okay. Go to new. Click on OK. Okay, so if I have a one branch, then I will go like this. Let us say if I have second branch, and from all the branches, whatever the product data we are getting, okay, so that data I want to load into one destination. So if I have multiple branches, then what I need to do? I need to take multiple flat file sources. Take one more source, configure it, create one more connection for a flat file again. So like this is what the second file. Go to the columns. So these are the columns and data. Just click on OK. Columns. Click on OK. Okay. So how many flat files that I am having? That many connections I need to build. Okay. Why? Because for each and every connection is pointing to one particular flat file. But in case of database connections, okay, so you can point to one database, and from the database you can pick any number of tables. Okay, so let us say all your tables are residing in one database, then only one database connection is enough. If you have more flat files, then you need to create more connections. I mean, like how many flat files that you are having, that number of connections that you have to build. Okay, so likewise I have taken one more source, and again I need to give the link to destination. Since it's not accepting, again I need to go for either union null or else match. Okay, something like that. So if I have 20 branches, then what I have to do? Again I have to build 20 flat file connections, and then from that 20 things, then again I need to go for either union null or merge, and then finally I need to load the data as per our earlier discussion, like multiple sources, single destination. We have discussed, right? Multiple sources, multiple source tables, only single destination table. In that case, what we did, we are using either union all or else either merge, by sorting the information, and then we will pass the data into merge and then load the data into destination without any condition. Okay, so if I have 20 branches, then I need to go for 20 flat file sources like this. But in future, I have reduced my branches. Then again what I have to do? Again I need to remove the flat files. Like earlier I have 20 branches. That's why I have taken 20 sources. Now I am having only 15 branches. Then in that case, whatever the branches that I have removed, okay, so the related sources I need to remove and then execute the package as per the requirement. But in real time, it's not the right practice, like every time open the package and adding a component to the already existing thing. Okay, so it's pretty much bad practice. And one more thing, so we don't have I mean, like, we won't get access to modify the package every time. Okay, so you need to build a package in such a way that we can, once after building, we can use the package for multiple times in different conditions. Okay, so this is what the different condition, in the sense, condition 1 we are having 20 branches, condition 2 we are having 15 branches, condition 3 we may get like 30 branches. I have expanded my business and I go for 30 branches. So in either of the condition, the package, whatever the package that you have built, okay, so without any modifications, that should work. Okay, so you should build the package in such a way. So like we don't want to build this many sources, create these many sources and giving union or something like that. So To achieve that thing, what we need to do is, we can take only single source and single destination. Okay, so what we will do is, we will create a loop. Okay, so let us say in my, yeah, so in this particular folder, like I am having, this is what one product file, assume like product information from branch 1. Okay, so I'll make this one as product information from branch 2. Product information from branch 3. Okay, so likewise I'll keep all the product files, like all the flat files relevant to the subject area. What is the subject area here? Product information. Okay, so all the files related to one subject area I'll keep in one particular location. Okay, so after that what I will do is, in SQL, in SSAS, we have one container called for each loop container. For each loop container, take the container into your workspace. Okay, and take one data flow task, place it inside of the for each loop container. Okay, now open the for each loop container by double click, go to the collections. Okay, there you have to do only two things. One is specify the folder where it is being located. Okay, so what is the folder? This is what the folder. Copy. Okay, and specify the file extension that you want to read. So I thought of reading the text files. Okay, so this folder may have number of files. Okay, so now we are having text files. You may have some images, you may have some PDF files, or else you may have some whatever the different documents, rare files. Okay, many things that you may have, but you have to read only text files. In that case, see here it is showing the files star dot star. Star dot star means, first star means like the file name might be anything. Dot star, the second star is file extension might be anything. But here what is our requirement? We thought of reading .txt files. Okay, so in this case, in place of last, the second star, what you need to give is .txt. That means here what the system will understand is whatever the file name it might be. Okay, if it founds any .txt file, then it will start reading. Okay, so here I have three different text files. All are .txt formats, but the file name is different. It will not bother about the file name. That's why we have given as star. Okay, so after that, just click on OK and go to the data flow task. Here configure the source and target. Source and the destination. Sorry, what is our source? Flat file, right? Flat file source. Okay, so I build a new file, new condition. I mean new connection. Flat file for each loop container product, and where my file is located. This is what my file path. In E drive text folder, I have three files. I will take only one connection. Okay, open, go to the columns, click on OK, and then go to the columns, take all your things. Similarly, like what you are doing for the in earlier implementation. Similarly, I will take one destination, July. Go to the mappings, click on OK. Just save it and then save this, start executing. Let us see what it will happen. See, go to the backend, refresh, what's our table, multiple fact files, FLEC, right. Start from, how many records have been populated? 12 records. Let's go back and check. In B1 we are having 4 records. As these are all copies, like similarly we will have in each one we will have 4 records. So 4 into 3 files, 12 records. We got 12 records, right? So what it will take is, for each loop what it will do is, it will check for the files, whatever the file extension that you have specified, it will check for the files under particular path. Okay, so it will go to this path and it will keep on reading the files with this file extension. Okay, so first time it will take this file and it will give that file to data flow task. Okay, inside of the data flow task it is pointing to flat file source, right? So it will give that file to the source and then load the data into destination. So once after loading the destination, package is done normally. But since this particular data flow task inside of this for each loop container, again this for each loop container will go to that particular path again. Okay, again this will go to this particular path and it will look for the another text file, another .txt file. So what is another .txt again? This one. So again it will pick that particular file and give that to the data flow task. Again it will read the file. Once after loading, data flow task is done. Again it will come to the for each loop container. For each loop container will read the third file. Again that file will goes to data flow task. Data flow task will execute that file and it will come out again and then it will go to the for each loop container. For each loop container again search for the fourth file, as there is no files with txt. Why? Because it has been executed all these 3 files and it is looking for third file, I mean fourth file. Okay, so there is no file left for the reading. So it will complete the package execution and it will come out of the loop. Okay, so once after completing the loop, you can go back and check for the data. You got the records. So here it is reducing our burden every time. Okay, so instead of creating a multiple flat file sources and then load the data, I mean using either, I mean once after taking the flat file sources, again you need to go for union all task, or else you need to go for merge task. If you want to load the data as a sorted format, you have to go for the sort and then load the data into destination. Okay, so if you have 20 sources, then you need to take 20 sortings and then load the data. Okay, so instead of doing all those experiments, what we can do is we can just simply take the for each loop container and inside of the for each loop container keep our data flow task. Okay, inside of the data flow task, whatever the thing that we have configured earlier, the same thing we will configure. But for each loop will for each, as it is inside of the for each loop container, it will take care of reading all the files every time. Okay, automatically each and every file will be taken over to the flat file source and then load the data into the destination. Okay, so likewise we can load the data using multiple flat file sources. Let me save this. I think this is what our Here one thing we need to remember. What is that is, all our plot files are existed in this particular path. Okay, as we are in development server, we have kept all our what we called files in this particular path. What? Yes. So if you have a different file, I mean, like if you have different paths, that's we are 1 second. Yes. So before loading the data into that particular destination, you need to gather, you need to keep all your files in a one folder. That's what the precaution that you need to take care of. You should not keep I mean, all your text files in different locations, and you should not go for reading all the files from different locations. So whatever the files that you want to load, okay, so keep all your files in a one folder in real time. That this is what the thing that you need to remember. Okay, so otherwise you can face some errors. Like let us say this file is existed here, and instead of this E drive you may have one more folder, and instead of that particular folder you may have another file. So if you split all the files, like it will take I mean, like some amount of time to read data from different files. Okay, I mean different folders and all. Okay, so instead of that, what we will do, the best practice we will go is keep all the files in one particular folder. Okay, and from that particular folder start reading the files. So let us say you have kept all your files in this particular path. This is it in, this is in dev environment, but in production, like you have kept all the files in some different path. Okay, so now we are in e-test, but the path is e-test, and instead of the for each loop container, where is it? Instead of the for each loop container, what you have specified, you have hard coded the file path as e colon slash test. This is what the path. Once after moving this particular thing into the production, once after this particular package we have moved into the production, there the path might be changed. Okay, so in that case you need to go again here, and then you need to change the path manually. Okay, let us say we have only one for each loop container, that is fine. Okay, but we have many for each loop containers. Okay, instead of the package, like if you have many for each loop containers, and for each container is pointing to is pointing to different subject areas, and all the files you have kept in one particular path, then how to change the path? I mean, at only one time, and that should not, that should show effect on every for each loop container. Okay, so like if you have a 20 for each loop containers, so you need to open each and every for each loop container and then change the path manually. Instead, what we can do is we will create a variable, okay, and pass that variable to the for each loop container. So whenever the path has been changed, what you will do is you can simply do the change for one time, and that will show that will reflect on each and every for each loop container. Let us see. This is what the path that I have hard coded, right? So now what I will do is I will create a variable. To create a variable, you can right click on the workspace and go for the variables, or else straight away you can see at the bottom, like you can see the variables tab. Click on the variables tab, add variable. Okay, by default it will give the variable name as variable. I will give as file path as the variable name, and file path will be the string, right? String. And what is the value here? This is what the value. Just copy, paste it. Okay, and instead of the for each loop container, okay, so now you have to read that path path value from the variable. So for that, what you do is go to the expressions, click on here and go to the property. There give the directory, select here and go to the variables. Okay, once you give the directory property, which property you want to set? I want to set the property of directory. The directory is nothing but the file path. Okay, so at the expressions you can see the dots, right? So click on the dots. It will take you to the one window which is nothing but the expression builder, where you can build your expression. So expression is nothing but showing the variable. Okay, so in the left side you can see variables and parameters, right? Select that and pick your variable, whatever the variable that you have created. So just select that variable and drag to the expression. Okay, just click on OK and then OK. Now you can remove this simply. It's not a big deal. You can remove this. Click on OK, just save it and then execute it. Okay, so package executed successfully. So how it will pick means, you have created one variable. Instead of the variable you are just giving the path. Okay, so this path will be passed to this for each loop container. How it will pass means, in the for each loop container you have given one expression. What is that expression? Directory. For directory you are using this variable. Okay, so now this variable is containing the path of the file. Okay, path of the file. So that particular file path will be passed to this particular option, folder option, and from that particular folder option it will pick all the files whatever is having .txt extension. Okay, so inside of the folder you may have many subfolders. Assume like inside of the folder you may have many subfolders. So in that case you want to check inside of that subfolders also, then just select the option like traverse subfolders. Okay, traverse subfolders. That means inside of the folder, like assume like I'm telling here, this is what my folder text. Okay, so inside of this particular folder, like you may have many subfolders and each folder is containing some .txt files. If you want to read that files as well, and if you want to open each and every subfolder and pick the text file and again go for the second subfolder and pick the text file. Likewise, if you want to go, then you need to check this box, traverse subfolders, then it will check each and every subfolder, otherwise it won't go for the subfolders. Okay, it will check in this particular path and it will come out. If you want to go for the subfolder, then you can check the subfolders option. Click on OK and then just save it. If you observe here, earlier we don't have this symbol, this fx symbol here for the for each loop container. Once after giving the variable, then it is showing the symbol here fx. That means this for each loop container is using some variable. Indirectly it is showing like this for each loop container is using some variable. Okay, if you don't have variable, then it won't show that particular thing. Okay, so if you have a define one expression, right? So that's why it is showing the thing. If you don't have any, expression, then that will goes off. If you have expression, then it will come over here. Directory, go to the expression, pick the variable. That means we are giving this variable. So indirectly you are saying like, so every time if you want to get the folder path, go to here. So inside of this I have defined one variable. So from that variable you can pick the path. So inside of that variable, what is this the path? This is what the path. So go to this path and pick the files every time. So likewise this will work. So just have a practice on this for each loop container, okay, so that you will come to know how, without variables how we are doing, with variable how we are doing. Okay, so this is also one of the important tasks in real time. So almost what are the most important tasks are, So data flow task. So without this data flow task, you can't build any package, and execute SQL task. Without this also you can't see any package, and sequence container. Okay, so without this also, like, you can't see the packages 90%, and for each loop container. So it's not mandatory that a package will have a for each loop container. Most of the cases will use the task. And coming to the transformations, so lookup. Without lookup, I didn't see any package without lookup. Okay, I didn't see any project without lookup. After that, what else we are having the most usage of transformations? So rest all very rare. This is what the only transformation that you go anywhere, we use this lookup transformation. So rest all transformations I didn't say, like they are very rare to use, but depends on the requirement. We will go for the uses of any transformation. Okay, so is multiple. No, no, no. We can't pass multiple paths. One variable contains only one path. Okay, so that's why I am telling you. One variable contains only one path. You can't pass the, pass multiple paths. That's why I am telling you, keep all your files in one folder. Okay, so that will gives you the result. Otherwise it won't give you the right result. Why? Because whatever the path we have specified in the variable, the only one only from that path it will read the files. Otherwise it won't read the files from the other paths. Okay, so that is what the thing that you need to remember. And the best practice is keep all your files in one folder. That's it. Okay, not in subfolders also. Keep all your files in only one folder. Should not contain any subfolders under. Even if you use subfolders, there might be a chance of getting some issues in real time, and that will goes to clumsy. So that's why we used to keep all the files in one folder without any subfolder. So from that particular folder, we keep on reading the files. Okay, so that's it for today.